We are the largest broad-based voluntary business association in the Commonwealth, advocating for the interests of more than 60,000 private sector businesses and the taxpayers they employ. The Kentucky Chamber has been seriously concerned about Kentucky's public pension systems dating back to 2007, when we formed a coalition for sustainable benefits, along with Kentucky League of Cities and the Pritchard Committee for Academic Excellence, to draw attention to this issue. Even most recently, at the Kentucky Chamber, we formed our own internal working group where we're actually looking for private sector businesses to help guide and advise our advocacy efforts to help resolve the pension issues facing Kentucky. The Chamber believes education is the key to improving Kentucky, as it improves the quality of our workforce, increases personal income, and helps address many of the health and social problems facing the Commonwealth. For this reason, we support honoring the promises made to our retired teachers and ensuring the solvency of KTRS. I'd like to repeat that. We support honoring the promises made to our retired teachers and ensuring the solvency of KTRS. The business community in Kentucky is concerned about the sustainability of the pension system for three key reasons. We pointed out one in our leaky bucket reports that dated back a few years, where we examined the state spending trends, and we found that spending on public employee benefits was far outpacing the overall growth in the state budget, and it's been outpacing inflation. This trend reduces funds available for education, which is our best hope for improving the Commonwealth and our workforce. Number two, bond rating agencies have lowered Kentucky's credit rating several times, even very recently, and they cite our huge unfunded pension liabilities as a key factor. Failure to pay down Kentucky's unfunded pension liabilities will further affect the state's credit rating, which increases the state's cost to borrow money and limits public building projects that create private sector jobs and grow the economy. I'd like to give you an example. A downgrade in Illinois in their credit rating a few years back, due to their pension liabilities, increased the cost of a $1.3 billion bond for construction projects by $95 million over the term of the bonds. Let's put it in education terms. That's 12 new elementary schools that could have been built. And third, and finally, the unfunded liability threatens economic development and investment in the Commonwealth. Certainly, the governor and his cabinet have had great success lately in highlighting Kentucky's strengths, but it's very disconcerting to see other governors highlight our liability, our pension liability, as a threat to business as they try to attract those companies to other states. For these many reasons, the Chamber has strongly supported every major pension reform in recent years, including the 2008 reforms, including the 2013 reforms to the Kentucky retirement systems. We organized a coalition of more than 50 employer groups in support of Senate Bill 2. We also called for the creation of a KTRS study group much like this one during the 2014 session of the General Assembly and the 2015 session of the General Assembly, and we continue to press for external performance audits of the Kentucky retirement system. To make KTRS sustainable moving forward, the Chamber believes this working group should look beyond simply providing more funding to the system, which is clearly needed, and consider structural changes to the system as well. The system must be sustainable moving forward. Changes that should be considered for newly hired teachers and those made by other states, as well as for KRS in 2013, should include looking at imposing a minimum age for retirement, revising COLAs for future retirees, increasing the employee contribution for retirement, and revising benefits such as moving to a hybrid or defined contribution plan. In considering these possible changes, we would also ask members to keep in mind that the majority of Kentucky taxpayers in the private sector do not have access to a defined benefit retirement plan and must rely on 401k savings and Social Security. As a result, the earliest they are able to retire is age 62, which I think the average is closer to 67 when they become eligible for 62 when they become eligible for Social Security. The Chamber's interest here is not to cast aspersions. It's not to assign blame. It's not to add fuel to any political fires. In the private sector, real leaders look at the facts. They do the math, and they look for common sense solutions. We're here to suggest the best way forward is to take this sort of approach and let the facts drive the decisions. As we did with the task force that examined the Kentucky retirement systems, the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce stands ready to assist in meaningful reforms that uphold the retirement promises that have been made to teachers while safeguarding the taxpayers who fund these systems.